And we are right on time. Hello, everyone. Once again, I'm Jerica Lighting. I'm the Deputy Project Manager for the Richland County Disparity Study Project. I'm happy that you're all here to join us with our first public hearing for Richland County. I am also joined by our subcontractor, Ms. Gloria Tanner, who's with CBC LLC. She has also been doing promotion for us. If you've seen her invites and her participation, we thank you for being here and responding to her as well. To note before we get started, this meeting will be recorded and then posted and hosted on our disparity study website. So that way, anyone who is not able to attend this meeting will still be able to hear your knowledge and of your experiences as well. This meeting, I'm not going to be giving out too much information about the disparity study as that was for our informational meeting, but this meeting is to hear about your experiences of doing business with Richland County and within the relevant market area, your reasons for why, what do you like, what you don't like, your experiences and your testimonies, and any reasons of why you're not doing business with the county as well. That information is vital to us to help us with giving our remedies to the county to improve their procurement process. So I will start with my presentation that's really brief. Oh, I can never see. It's always in the way. My presentation that's really brief. All right. And once again, this is the Richland County Disparity Study Public Hearing Meeting. Thank you all for being here with me. A quick agenda that we're going to go through today is a little bit about Griffin and Strong PC and who we are, what a disparity study is, the study process, and then we'll go through the proceedings for a public hearing and what to be expected of you for participating with me this afternoon. So about Griffin and Strong. We are a law and public policy firm specializing in procurement research, training, contract compliance, and program development. We have the most qualified team within our industry with 6 Juris Doctors, 2 PhDs in economics, and a PhD in anthropology. And we are happy to always announce that no study that has been conducted by Griffin and Strong has been challenged nor overturned in court, although some of our experts have been witnesses for other disparity studies across the nation. So they do have that experience. We'll go into the objective and the purpose of a disparity study. So a disparity study is an objective research tool to determine if there are disparities with a governmental agency's procurement activities, and if these disparities exist within the race, ethnic, or gender groups across the varying industry categories. It will further determine if those disparities are statistically significant and if they are more likely caused by the race and gender status of the firm owners. A disparity study also utilizes the acquisition of anecdotal evidence, which is why I'm so happy that you're here with us, which will help us in examining the current policies and procedures, the practices, and a law review as well. The findings from the study, we hope, will then be recommendations by the study team and accepted by the county will then be implemented as policy. I do want to note that we are not here because there is a disparity. We're here to see if there is a disparity and to find them if they exist or not, and then to create remedies for the county to better their procurement process. Our purpose and our approach for using disparity studies comes out of the factual basis from the City of Richmond versus J.A. Croson case, and then followed along from that decision for the instructors in versus Pena, which allows for the ruling of the City of Richmond and Croson to be applied to federal cases as
okay. I'll just call you checking on you.
Oh, I would ask if you would be able to mute yourself, anyone, if you can. I could do so as well.
I think that's
fine.
Ms. Lightning. I think that's Mr. Farmer, Willie Farmer, this Gloria. We can hear you talking your conversation. You might want to mute yourself, sir. Thank you.
Yes, just briefly. Thank you. I'll make sure I go through.
See, I know these voices are, they can't fool me. I hear Mr. Farmer talking. Thank you, Mr. Farmer, for joining the meeting.
Yes, thank you all. So what comes from the city of Richmond versus Croson case is that strict scrutiny must be applied for race-based programs and intermediate scrutiny for any gender-based programs. So there is a two-pronged test in which there must be a desire from the community to have a disparity, and we must also follow the case law and be factual with our evidence. The methodology that we use must also be dictated by case law, and they must be narrowly tailored to remedy to avoid any over inclusion or under inclusion. Because in the eyes of the court, even having over inclusion of some of our ethnic and our gender categories is the same as violating the 14th Amendment as under inclusion. Quickly to run through our methodology and our approach. We do a couple of things throughout our disparity study process, which starts with our law review and our policy review. So we look to see what on paper and with what the county is doing can be changed or modified. We collect and clean data that we receive from the county and keep an open process during that entire time. We do a relevant market analysis to see where is the county spending its money, and only that geographic area will be included within the study and its analysis. We do a utilization analysis to see who is being used within the procurement study by the county, and do an availability analysis to see who and what firms are available to be used in the procurement process. Our disparity analysis is done by comparing those who are being utilized and those who are available within the market and seeing if there's any types of gaps that rely there. We do a private sector analysis to see if there are any other reasons and any other factors that may constrain or be barriers to participation within the procurement process. And then we do our anecdotal evidence in our collection, which is here with our public hearings. We may also do organization interviews, business interviews, if you would like to tell me if your experiences as well. We will have focus groups that we conduct as well. And we are always taking email comments and phone calls where you can reach me directly and let me know of your time and your experiences. And then finally, we give our full report and our findings and recommendations to the county, in which we hope that they will be used and implemented as policy. And so we get into our fun part, which is our purpose here for today. So the purpose of this hearing is for you to tell me a candid testimony about your experience, whether positive or negative, of doing business or even attempting to do business with Richland County. Any and all things that are going to be said within this meeting are going to be used on the public record, but our final report will not have the names of your business or yourself or any affiliations of anyone who does give their testimonies today. We're not soliciting questions, so if you have any concerns about the study process, who we are, or things of that nature, feel free to email us and we can answer those questions, or I can also give you a call as well. Today is only about your commentary only, so this portion will probably be the last that you'll hear a bit from me. And then finally, when you're giving your comments for me today, please be able to start by stating your name and your business name clearly for the record so we can ensure that we are anecdoting properly, and then you may begin your testimony. As noted before, at any time or even after this meeting or during this meeting, you can feel free to reach out to us by our study email, which is richlandcountystudy@gspclaw.com. And then once again, this meeting recording, along with our informational meeting, the portion to our survey that is up as well, will be located on our website, which is richlandcountydisparitystudy.com. And so with that, I will stop sharing and I will open up the floor to anyone who would like to start. I do see I have one comment in the chat. Oh, okay, that's still from participant Aaron. But you may begin, and I'm here. You'll see me looking down a little bit. That is because I am taking notes, although this meeting is recorded. All right, participant Powers, you may go ahead. Thank you so much for being first.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm Jennifer D. Powers of JD Powers LLC. I'm a general contracting company, as well as a public utilities contractor. Let's talk about, first, I'll go into the positives because nobody likes into the negative right off. Positive, one of the only contracts I have been able to procure in the last couple of years has been with Richland County. The reason I think I got the contract was because it was a set aside. I do not think that the municipalities understand how important a set aside is to a small and to a disadvantaged business. And I would like to be able to expound on that because contracting is its own, construction contracting anyway. It is a different animal. We run a very fine line as contractors to be able to do the work and to qualify as a disadvantaged business. So that being said, I'll tell you what that means. I started in 2014 with the idea that as a citizen of Columbia, Richland County, and having lived here my whole entire life, that I could provide public service contracting for the municipality, both the city and the county. I have very small opportunities to compete against larger contractors that have had their fathers, their uncles, their grandfathers, and people that have acquired masses of equipment and staff that their sons of sons or daughters of daughters or whatever they are getting into. I have to start from absolute scratch, which means that I cannot compete financially without a set aside, taking that in consideration and somewhat locking out the muscle of the large contractor to give the opportunities to smaller disadvantaged businesses. This is something that is imperative that set asides be done in these categories for disadvantaged businesses because it is impossible to compete on that level. Both with labor and equipment and whatever the job and the scope of work is, I just cannot do it. Therefore, I have sat for 9 years in abeyance, paying for general liability, workman's compensation, qualifying for bonding, trying to get work experience, whatever it takes to get jobs with these municipalities to no avail. Now that's the real deal from the real contractor, from the real woman, from somebody who I was, and I don't know how much Jerica of Columbia, but I was raised in an area that was a total different upbringing than most Caucasians in South Carolina in the South period. I'm an older person, and I went to schools where I was the only white child. I have a very firm standing in the communities. I know how hard it is. As a general contractor, I could have pulled up probably at a minimum 3 to 5 very competent, very willing, either African American or Hispanic contractors along with me. Somebody's talking, so I hope you can hear me. But anyway, these being a general contractor is not like being a subcontractor. There are subcontractor programs out there for disadvantaged subcontractors. There are no programs for general contractors. We take on a tremendous amount of liability to do these types of contracts, and it takes help from the municipality to understand that and to have their engineers and the people that put these projects together to work very closely with construction contractors to be able to perform and to be trained and to grow into bigger contracts. tractors. I don't think that what our municipalities have understood for many, many, many years is that if you are not growing the small business, then all you're doing is feeding the system of the sons of the sons, the daughters of the daughters, whatever, and enriching. And when they decide to sit down or retire from those jobs and those projects that they have been doing for decades, the municipality is left with no skilled labor to support their infrastructure or any of their services. So I don't really understand how they've done it up till now. I've had oppositions on so many fronts. Procurement is a whole other thing. Procurement, they do not have expertise in writing scope of work, so there's a lot of confusion there. You cannot compete when a scope of work has been let. You cannot compete with somebody who is not fully licensed, fully insured, playing by the rules, and then somebody comes in and they're not being monitored or there's no oversight for them. So this is a big problem for launching the disadvantaged and the small business. I'm just giving you the real deal. So
Ms. Powers, let me ask a question of you. This is Gloria.
Yes, ma'am.
For clarification purposes, when you just stated that there was no experience in procurement, do you mean the agency itself or the firms that might be competing for the work?
No, I mean the actual procurement officers. The people that are writing the scope of work are they're not contractors, first of all. So their level of expertise, unless you have something that is actually spec'd out by an architect or by another general contractor or somebody that has that level of professional expertise, you're getting contracts that cost us a lot of money and time to go through to come up with a zero opportunity. And I'm tired of doing the municipality's work. I don't mind if the municipality says, look, we need a general contractor to write all our scopes of work. Fine, I'm your woman. I'll do that. But if you're asking for somebody to do the work, it's got to be written by somebody that understands the work and that has that professional knowledge. Otherwise, we're working for people that are not professionals, and they are making our lives miserable and costing us a lot of money. And that's just the truth.
I was going to say, I have one more question too to ask you about something else you just mentioned. You said Richland County has a set aside. Do you mean you participated in the sheltered market project?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes,
okay, not set aside.
Okay, well,
sheltered market project. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, well, I don't know. I was told it was a set aside. And the reason why I say that is because I go into Richland County often and ask, is there any project that is earmarked for small business that I can, look at or get in, try to get knowledge of so that I can do research on or whatever. I'm very adamant about researching my projects, because when you're a small business, especially in construction, I can't speak to those that are, that are doing retail work and said they don't have the exposure that the construction industry has. But if you are trying to put together equipment and you're trying to put together an administrative staff that can handle all of the bonding requirements and the this and that, there are copious amounts of work that go into just determining whether or not you can perform that scope of work. And then when you get there, they get you to the pre-bid just to exploit your services or your professionalism to then not even do the job. And this is a big problem in municipal work, period. For the small business and the disadvantaged, it is almost impossible to get up on your legs to make a profit. And if it weren't for the fact that my business is also a real estate company and fuels my my overhead, I would not be able to even offer my services to the municipality. So
Okay.
it's a big problem without diversity consideration and special set asides for smaller, and I'm just speaking to construction because I don't do other lettings. I mean, I have as a general contractor capabilities of selling you anything you want, but I don't, I try to stick within my scope of work, which is public utilities, water and sewer, and just construction. But I've done all the little teeny construction projects I can do for municipalities without making a dollar to try to get in the game, and it's just not happening. And I'm aging out, so I'm a little bit on the aggravated side with it, just to be honest with you. And so, but we're out here. There are qualified people, and I can put together teams of other disadvantaged businesses and mentor those businesses, because my strong suit is in administration. So a lot of these guys that have field experience do not have business experience. They do not have accounting experience. They can't keep their records straight. They can't this. Well, I have figured all that out for them, and I can keep them at, between the ditches. But, without mentoring the general contractor, the small general contractor, it will never happen. The county is going to continue to pay copious amounts of money that are unnecessary for these lettings. I can do lettings, I know, for less than what I've seen them take these bids for, but I can't compete in that arena. I just cannot. So it is a big, big problem. And it's not just with Richland County. I'm just weighing in because this is where I wanted to work. I did not, adding mobilization to construction bids is a huge, huge problem and a big difference, a differential in doing the job locally. And I just think it's a real shame that our own people in our own county haven't been able to be looked at and given these opportunities.
Thank you so much.
I hope I've tried to get down to the nuts and bolts of it, because I'm not a very flowery speaker, and I apologize for that. But
no problem. That is what this meeting is for. So I'm happy to hear.
Is to tell you from the actual performance contractor what the problem is.
Yes.
And that has been my problem, is I cannot get contracts that fit within the confines of what my capabilities are.
Yes. Thank you. I will open up the floor now to anyone else. We do have others here with us. I did see some participants who agreed with participant Powers in her testimony, in her remarks. So I will ask for anyone who wasn't in the chat, if you have any perspectives or any testimonies that you would like to give, and then I'll circle back.
I transferred to a tablet just so that I could piggyback on Jennifer.
Yes.
My name is Erin Wessinger. I'm with Arbetis Construction. I am also in Richland County with the Office of Small Business certified.
Ms. Wessinger,
Yes.
Wessinger, would you repeat the name of the firm that you with again?
Arbetis Construction. The letter
Thank you.
R. Okay. We are a DBE firm, and we are also certified with the Richland County Office of Small Business. I just have a small snippet, and I agree with everything Jennifer said. One thing that hurt us this year with Richland County, we have a statewide contract with SCDOT to do the brush management. Last year, we did over $500,000 with Richland County. We were told we needed to purchase a boom mower, which is a $250,000 piece of equipment, in order to service them better, which we did. Our first payment was due September of this year. Typically, we have a PO by September of this year. This year, they are doing no brush management. They state because it's due to budget cuts from their state budget, but I found out by calling every single county in the state that it's up to the counties how they use their money. So basically, we are $500,000 in the red, plus a $250,000 piece of equipment that we can't pay for now.
Can I ask you a question regarding that, if you don't mind, please?
Absolutely.
So prior to purchasing that equipment, you saw an opportunity with Richland County that could have utilized the services for this, for whatever the equipment that you use, the brush machine that you just mentioned. So that's
Right.
the purpose that you went and bought the equipment for.
Yes.
And after using it, go ahead.
Prior to that, so we did about $250,000 to about $250,000 the first year that we got the contract in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Then we were told we needed a boom mower to do more of the slopes. We rented one. Well, we didn't have to rent it that much because we only had like a small section of Richland County. Well, last year, because we did such a good job and because we did go forward and rent the piece of equipment, they gave us the entire county. It took us, I want to say, from October to March. So that was our business for like 6 months out of the year. And we did it with the equipment we purchased. They were like, oh, it's just so great. You're definitely going to do do it again next year, blah, blah, blah. No, nobody called us. Nobody gave us a heads up, like at the beginning of the year or anything. Hey, just wanted to let you know, we're not sure if we're going to have our budget. Just wanted to maybe let you know to prepare. No, I had to find out by calling in September saying, hey, just touching base, seeing when we're getting our PO. Oh, we're not giving one out this year. I'm like, what?
So you would consider that maybe just a lack of communication, that they're not disseminating information to the general contracting public?
Definitely a huge lack of communication and consideration for these small business DBE firms that depend on what they got last year, which is $500,000. That's a lot of money. And now to zero. Plus, I've got a $250,000 debt now that I can't even use the equipment for. I mean, yes, maybe this does stretch out to be a state issue, but it also goes down into the counties that it's up to the county how they use their money. It's up to the county how they take care of their small business DBE firms like Jennifer was talking about. There was also something that happened, I believe it was in May. I was approached by someone at Richland County Office of Small Business. Hey, we need a contractor. We need this and this and this. Got their whole packet, took 2 days out of my time and my partner's time, and a third day out of our electrician's time to go look at these projects, prepare a bid, which is another day. So you're talking about a week's worth of time, and then no communication. Call and call and call. I'm like, hey, are y'all doing this project? Hey, how's our bid look? Well, about 3 months later, I finally get an email saying that they're going to have to rebid these projects because the scope of the contracts and the bids were so out of whack that they didn't go. There again, just like Jennifer was talking about, get a professional to do the scope of work, or hire a contractor to do your scope of work, and then don't let them bid on the job. Whichever, I don't care. But just like Jennifer said, we all have to be bidding apples to apples. And it doesn't appear that we have anyone in the office at Richland County currently that has to do with the economic development or the maintenance construction or whichever department it is that actually can compose a scope of work so everybody knows that they're bidding on A, B, and C. Okay. And this is exactly what you're bidding on. Not go look at it and see what you can do it for.
So maybe the either procurement or the architects or engineers, whoever's required or whoever's actually developing the scope of work for this procurement project that they've submitted out for you to look at, it's not really succinct where a contractor can come in and put an actual cost to what they've developed. Scope, is that valid? Is that what you stated?
That's valid. So when we are bidding on jobs for Richland County, even Lexington County, and sometimes for the state, but not necessarily. Some state jobs are done by architects. The scopes are done by an engineer who has construction background. we're seeing it more at the county level or the local ordinance. And it's not like when you go bid a Food Lion. When you go bid a Food Lion, there are specifications made. There are measurements. There are pictures. There is a line item of you need to bid to paint the right wing wall, not go look at it and see what needs to be painted and tell me what you do.
So Richland County specification or their bid documents don't really contain the right types of descriptions, a quantity, measurements, and so forth for a contractor or potential bidder to actually bid the job like they should.
Exactly. It should be more detailed so that you know every single contractor you're getting that from is going to give you the exact same quote. It may be a different number, but they're going to look at the exact same thing.
May I make a comment?
Before Ms. Powers, let me open the floor to anyone else who would like to comment, and I will definitely circle back to you.
Thank you very much.
Does anyone else have a comment or an experience they would like to tell us about? All right, participant power, the floor is yours.
Okay, so to expound on what she's talking about, let me tell you how the county has locked out the small business in this regard. And this is not just happening in this county municipalities. This is happening in the city. It's happening in state government. It's also happening in federal government. They are now asking for multiple award contracts. Now, all the multiple award contract does is then put your favorite guy in so that he can get all the work and he can be on call for the work. And so now we are locked out because, you know, we can't, as small people, probably service a multiple award contract because we have to now hire a full entire staff. And I will applaud Miss Wessinger. She's got more chutzpah than I do, because I'd have never gone out and bought a piece of equipment for Richland County telling me they needed it for anything, any other municipality, because I have been lied to so much on so many different levels. It is only the DBE program does not give you any preferential consideration. Okay. All you're doing is helping a general contractor try to find DBEs to check off of his on his quotas of trying to get somebody. I'm a little bit.
You're actually Mama Bessie.
Wait a second.
I can hear her.
Okay,
Go ahead.
but even though you can hear the others, whoever has their button unmuted,
Yes,
it's distracting from the presenter. So could you please mute yourself?
I've muted them.
Oh,
Okay,
thank you.
so what I'm trying to say is that so even the municipalities are trying to get around the small contractors and everything, because these procurement officers are so lazy. They want to do things the old way, and they want to be less involved as possible. So if they get this one contractor that snuggles up to them, they'll get all of the work in the county, and then we don't get any opportunities because the multiple award contracts are given. Well, it's all nice if you're the one guy that gets the multiple award, but you're not offering, you're not doing the taxpayer any justice or stewarding the taxpayers' money by doing this, because all they're doing is jacking the pricing up, and they're keeping it in house, and you know there's behind the door price fixing dealing going on. You know, I've been around big contractors all my life. I've been around you know, all the guys. You know, I've even dated the guys to try to get work. I hate to admit it, but you know, I've done it. And you know, I'm not beneath that, okay? And I'm not beneath going down to the honky tonk to find my guys if I got to find good quality, you know, artisans to do my work. I'm out there doing what I got to do. But I will not succumb to a general contractor telling me, oh, I need a DBE in this to make my quotas, because they can ruin your business. They can put you out of business. And I didn't get this far to be put out of business. which is what Miss Wessinger is experiencing right now. This is high stakes business for contractors. This is not providing, all the toilet paper for the prison. This is really equipment. These are labor. This is human services and resources we have to provide. I have to be a mama to 20 guys and their families and so on and so forth. I mean, it's just monumental what we do, and we get no help or consideration at a professional level from the municipality when we're here to be your next contractor, to help you with infrastructure and with construction. It just doesn't make sense that the county procurement office works against us. And it's almost like they're working to put you out of business. They nitpick you to death. They don't communicate, and then they hold your checks. And, this is just too high of a stake business to be treated like this. And it's why it drives us in, and it's costing the municipality just gazillions of dollars. I'm telling you, my nephew was the chief financial officer for the state of South Carolina. I get a lot more information. I'm very political. I watch what people do. I know what these DBE programs. The DBE program is hogwash, just plain and simple. It does not give you any preferential treatment for doing any jobs. It puts you on a list for people to exploit you as a contractor. It is just not working. And this was a DBE program, was a federal program originally, and it has been trimmed off and worked on by all of the little cities and county municipalities and washed down to hardly nothing. But, you look at the first tier, they go to the first tier, then they go to the second tier, then they go to the third tier. Well, why don't you just invite everybody to bid, and just say the lowest bidder, because that's really what you get down to. It's all about the lowest bidder. It has nothing to do with a DBE. The DBE means nothing.
Ms. Lightning, let me ask you a question before you move on to the next person. I'd like to ask a question.
Okay.
So for something that she just mentioned.
All right.
You said that they hold your payments. So have you also experienced not receiving payments or late payments from procurement at Richland County as well?
I'm going to be honest with you, Ms. Tanner. Ms. Wessinger is probably way more active than I am. I will not take a contract that I know I cannot fulfill and I can't get in and get out of. So I just don't have that. I don't have that chutzpah. I'm not going to get in a position of buying equipment and doing all that. So my checks do not get held because I finish my projects way before the period. So I have all that fighting done in a very short order. And the procurement guy does not get around me. But I will tell you, I don't make friends doing it with procurement. And procurement, has a lot of power over our industry. And if they don't like you, oh, well, they'll just make sure you don't get notices. They'll make sure that they've got a lot of ways of putting you down and locking you out of the system.
But your payments have been timely, according to what your contract has stated.
I have no complaints with Richland County whatsoever. But I've only done one job with Richland County, and it was with that you said a market shelter or shelter market, whatever you want.
Sure. Okay.
And you cannot sustain a business off of one contract here and there. You've got to be out there, and it's just I have just been afraid to up my game. I mean, my services and my expertise are in many different areas. I mean, when you're a general contractor, unlimited, you can do about anything you want to do, with a little bit of help from your friends. But I don't have any friends. I'm a woman, and I'm too old to snuggle up anymore. I can't do it. I can't. I just don't have that kind of game on me. And I'm aging out, and I have administrative capabilities. I have the ability to put together crews. I have the ability to put together bonding. I have all of the above, but I just cannot get a decent contract. And it's just not going to happen when I'm competing against MBCon, or I'm competing against, any of the other bigger boys that their dads have been there for, decades doing this for them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I will, as we do have our scheduled 15 minutes left, anyone who does have their experience that they would like to share about bidding with Richland County or the reasons for not, please feel free to do so at this time. Ms. Pearson, I've seen some of your comments as well as participants Brown's. But anyone who does have their experience and their testimony, please feel free.
Yes, I'm Gary Washington with Carolina Procurement Institute,
Yes.
and I'm a consultant. And the GC arena, general contractor, and the sub arena, I'm very familiar with as a contracting officer previously in my former life, and also mindful of what's going on with not just Richland County but throughout the United States. I've helped many over $500 million worth of contracts for small businesses since I've been in business, and our company is very satisfied with working with any of the agencies, but the criteria and the requirements for the subcontractors and the GCs to bid on, it goes right back to the hole that they're talking about. You have some designated contractors that are pigeonholed, and those projects are usually written for them. And I'm saying that to say that at every level, whether it's the metropolitan airport contractors, whether it's the county, the city, the municipality, I've seen it over and over again. You can't flow the projects through cash flow, you're making money, and get work that's some timing. So I've tried to administer assistance to the small businesses, and they've pretty much just chimed out and says, no, I'm not really interested in that. So I help them to get government contracts or to just bid on private projects, because the hassle of getting the project started, running the project, and making a profit margin is pretty much nil. So I identify with all of the ladies speaking, but I'm on the side of the Black man that's been out here for over 25 years. And it is very difficult to accommodate the small businesses that are trying to get business when they're trying to start. So I would not just bring to the table the issues that are relevant that they're talking about, but some of the solutions. And some of those are taking a project and breaking it apart and getting some of the female or the minority-owned companies to run the project from cradle to grave and pay them the percentage of what they put into it. It's going to have to be done differently. It can't be, here's a whole project and you handle from cradle to grave and hopefully you do well on it. It doesn't work that well at all. So breaking the projects up and giving a designated contractor, here, you're up, these are your requirements, these are your timelines, this is your money's going to be paid, let's get this executed, and give us a heavy past performance. This seems to be the best methodology to get work done, and these individuals make a profit and move on. Because one of the major contractors.
Gary, have you experienced that Richland County has made that type of an effort to break the larger contracts down so smaller firms could bid on those? Have you ever seen that or experienced that with Richland County?
I've seen the criteria, but it still doesn't match up. So yes, I've seen the effort, but the reality of it, it doesn't work, because really you have to bring somebody in that's on the street, that's running projects on a daily basis. Because when you go out,
what Ms. Lightning's trying to do here is across the board, information is wonderful to have, but we're really, trying to focus on your recommendations are great. We'd love to take them, but we need to kind of focus on what might work for Richland County. You see,
I would think if you would bring the contractors in and give them a portion of each one of the projects and test them, period, and say, this is the dollar figure we have for this. Can you accommodate it? Tell us how you're going to accommodate it. And no one else is in it. If they've been in business 5 years, these are the projects you can bid on. If you've been in business 10 years, because it goes down to the history of a lot of these companies. Some of these companies can go and get, $700,000 worth of material today. Some of these small businesses that is competing with them, they can't get this kind of funding if they had to for their life in 20 years. So these $25,000 contracts that have $1,500 profit margin is not going to work. These projects that are 50,000 have $4,000 profit margin is not going to work. Because if they can't eat and grow, they are really defeating, it's a defeated effort from Jump Street.
And
So
you
the
think
margin of
that's,
profit has to be in there, not the
no, I'm
best
sorry.
interest of the city or the county is not the best interest of the people. Huh?
Yeah, I was just going to ask. So you think that that's what one of the issues or concerns is with Richland County is that the projects that the smaller firms are bidding on, it's not really profitable for them. Is that what you're stating, right?
That is one of the main concerns, yes. The profitability and also this low bid or the best bid or the best value, that's all Mickey Mouse and nickel dime as far as a company to grow. If a person takes on a $10,000 project, they should be able to make $2,800, anywhere between 25 and 35% profit margin. After taxes, insurance, and all the other headaches, that's just a baby project. So most of the guys and the people that can bid them, they don't even look to the county. And they talk about them so bad because the realistic model is not metric to value the small business owner that's out there managing the project. There's a lot of reality of day-to-day hands-on in touching the project. And you have to be paid for that because you can't do another project unless you're there on that project right there. So these people that have 25, 30 years of experience, they can't even look at other projects because they got this little $25,000 project they got to micromanage. You can't just put these people out there to work.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so what I'm saying, the whole infrastructure of the evaluation as well as putting the solicitation out is not going to work, not going to continue to work if it's in my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate that because this does help us with our tailored recommendations that we give back to the county. So thank you so much, participant Washington. Within our last few moments, does anyone who hasn't spoken, if you would like to speak, you may at this time. I will also stay on as well as we had some members join us a little bit later so I can hear your testimonies as well. I'm free and I'm here to listen to you. Oh, someone put something in the chat for me. Lovely. And as we wrap up, I know I've given you the study email, which I do check, but I will also leave my personal email as well, which is my first name, Jerica, at gspclaw.com. And I'll be sure to drop that in the chat for you as well. If you would like to do an actual one-on-one interview about your experience of doing business or not doing business, you can also set that up with me as well, because that once again guides us with our procurement process and our recommendations. Let me play.
Erica, would you also please mention again that any information that the firms provide to you will be submitted in confidentiality? I had a couple of current firms expressed a concern or interest about being blackballed from Richland County for future work if they were to open up and discuss their issues.
Yes, you will be remain anonymous yourself and your firm and anything that would point to you. Only time that would be out is if we are being challenged in court, which we try not to be. So you won't have that. But yes, your information will not be given to the county at the end of the study or in the chapter.
Well, I, for one, would like to thank y'all for listening because it's not often we get an opportunity for anybody to really hear our side of it that seems to care. But I want you to know, because I'm not really working that hard, I'm available at any time you would like to talk, or anybody. I don't have any problem going down to Richland County and looking at the council and, whatever, because I feel like that, my time is winding down, and I've got to make a concerted effort now or never. But I'm always available to give you a real life experience, and I have plenty of them of why not working.
You can go ahead. So sorry.
Okay, but thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I look forward to Richland County, maybe trying to do something before I get my Social Security check. I'd like to get a check from. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um,
Miss Jennifer, before you leave, someone had a comment for you.
Okay.
If you look in the chat, and I
Yeah.
do see someone, participant Brown.
Yes.
Yes, your hand's raised. I was trying to find.
Okay. That is JD Powers, LLC at Gmail.
Jerica, this is Marjorie Brown with MRB Public Health Consulting. I'd just like to know and get some feedback and insight on the timeliness of this diversity study and what are the next steps for the community and how can we be engaged further?
Yes. So this is our first public hearing that we're having. We're having our second one on this upcoming Thursday at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., which will be once again with myself and Miss Gloria. So if you know of any other small businesses or members of the community who would like to give their perspective, you can give them the Zoom link so they can join us and be a part of our testimony. We also have our survey of business owners, which is being casted out. So that asks you a little bit more pointed information and details about your experience of doing business, not just with Richland, but in the general relevant market area. So we hope that you would fulfill that out. That leads to us bolstering our statistical analysis that we do in our private sector, as well as our anecdotal. And then,
And
yes.
Jerica, just to clarify about this study,
Yes.
will that link to the survey be provided to those that are on the call today?
Yes, ma'am. I can do that. When I send out my thank you email, I'll make sure I include that link to you all as well. And you should
Appreciate
be
it.
receiving it from the constant contact, the same way how if you've gotten a flyer from myself, it'll be reached out through there. But I wonder if I can find that link and I can get that to you in the next few moments.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And may I request this of everyone, please, if you happen to know of any business colleagues that you are familiar with that are not in this meeting today, please share with them there's another meeting this coming Thursday, as Ms. Lightning just stated. Invite them to this meeting because change won't happen unless sometimes you have to put things in front of agency representatives' faces and say, look, this is what we found. Although they're on the inside and we think they know, and they should know, but sometimes these types of studies we have to put in front of them to say, look, this is what's happening here. And here's the responses from the people that you want to do business with, and those want to do business with you, but these are the findings. So please share this next meeting, if they're not in attendance, share it with them, let them know what we're doing. Thank you.
Yes. And you may be contacted as well for our focus groups, which are a little bit more intimate settings of anecdotal interviews that we ask to see if there are any themes between yourself and the other business owners which are on the call. So we'll ask some more questions then as well. So you may receive that coming up shortly to participate with us in December for those. We push those up. Those are being in December. Participant Bullington, thank you for your comment. I will place that also within my notes in this feedback. And I'm not able to find the exact link that I'm looking for, Participant Brown, but when I get that for the survey, I'll get that to you. It should also be on the study website as well, so you can be able to participate and take that too. And once again, we do still have a few moments if anyone else would like to give their perspective and their experiences here within the Richland County relevant market area. Please feel free. I will not leave until everyone feels they've been heard and they've had their opportunity to speak.
What is her name? Shirley.
I'm ready.
Oh, okay.
Everything is fine.
Okay.
And then once again, so sorry, I'm looking through the chat and looking through all your comments to make sure that these are also going to be included within our study. And I thank you all for being so candid and so open with Miss Gloria and myself of telling us of your experience. This will be wonderful for our recommendations when I take it back to my team, so we can make sure that these issues that you're bringing up within your daily life and with your time with bidding with the county are addressed, and you can hopefully see a change with them. So I thank you greatly for being here with us. Once again, my email is throughout somewhere in the chat. Once again, it's my name, Jerica, at gspclaw.com, or you can use the study email, which is Richland County Study at GSPC Law. So I'll drop those once more. Oh, can't type. In this way, even if after this meeting, if you feel like you do have some more that you would like to tell, or if you did not feel comfortable speaking with me today, but you do want your voice to still be heard, please feel free to reach out to me on email. Those comments get added as well. Oh, nice. Doo-doo-doo. An incubator program, it depends on what all of our results from the study show, but we will make sure that our recommendations to the county are detailed and tailored to your issues that you are having here within the county, and with helping with remove some of those barriers for you all. So it may be an incubator, it may be some type of program, but we hope that you would keep track with us within the study to see what those are and when they are accepted by the county. I will write that down.
Malia, I have, guys, a new assistant that's working with me. Her name is Malia Hinfield. I almost forgot to introduce her. Thank you, Malia. She's doing an excellent job.
Oh, hello, Leah. Wonderful.
Good afternoon.
Um, and so with this, I do want to honor everyone's time. We are a little bit over at 1:02, so please feel free. You may log off. Once again, thank you so much for your time and your candid experiences and for sharing everything with me today in the chat and on camera. We look forward to all of our results and from hearing from you again. So you'll be still in contact with me. I have everyone's email here, so I'll make sure I stay in contact with you throughout the process. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.